Hi, I am Anuj Gupta, an IT professional with almost 4 years of experience. I had a roadmap. The roadmap looks like this. First, I learned one cloud. The cloud can be GCP or AWS. You can choose any cloud, Azure, AWS, or GCP. There are thousands of jobs on every cloud. You don't need to waste time on deciding which cloud to learn. Even if you learn AWS, you have plenty of jobs. You will get the calls. Even if you learn GCP, there are many jobs on GCP and you will get calls. Same goes for Azure or Oracle, any cloud. If you like, you can go for any cloud. And once you complete learning any one cloud, it will just take a week of time to learn any other cloud. So first focus on learning one cloud, and once you complete the learning the cloud, if I need to specify the services you need to learn on cloud. So in GCP you can learn how to create the compute engine, what is compute engine, then how to create the cloud storage, what is cloud storage, then VPC, what the private subnet, public subnet, what is NAT gateway, what is router, then types of load balancers they have, and then what is auto scaling groups, what is cloud run, what is cloud app engine, then how to use the GKE. So you need to do the practical thing here. You need to do kind of hands-on on these services, on almost 10 to 15 services, and cloud CDN is there, then cloud armor is there, PubSub is there. So as much as possible, or you can buy any course on Udemy, buy a course from Udemy, or learn on your own and do the hands-on on the cloud. And once you complete doing the hands-on, once you learn the cloud, then the next thing will be to learn how to use the Linux commands. That is crucial, because in the production there will be mostly you are working on Linux, so you should have proper at least the basic knowledge of Linux, like how ls command, chmod command, and then grep command, pipe, how to use the pipe, and then how to create the cron jobs. So these kind of basic commands you should have idea of. Once you complete the Linux, you should learn Git. What is Git, how to use the Git, the flow from cloning the Git repo to pushing the code to the Git repo after making the changes. To you should know the Git add, Git commit, and Git init, all these commands, and then Git fetch, Git pull, Git push. So you need to use the token, how to create the token. So these kind of things you need to do the practical thing. When you do the practical thing, you will get lots of doubts, and then using the ChatGPT or Google, you can resolve your doubts and you will get good in it. So once you complete the Git and you also have knowledge on the cloud and you completed the Linux, now you come to learn about the Docker, how to use the Docker, what is Docker, what is containerization technology, why containerization technology came in existence, what was the need of containerization technology. There was VMs before containerization technologies. Why then containerization technology was used, and what is Docker? Docker is just a tool which we use to implement the containerization technology to create the containers. And once you learn the Docker, then the next step comes the Kubernetes. What is Kubernetes? Kubernetes is a container management tool. So we create the containers using Docker or any other tool which implements the containerization technology to create the containers. So once we create the containers, we need some tool to manage those containers. That is the Kubernetes. So once you learn the Kubernetes, in Kubernetes you can learn how to write the pod YAML files, how to write the deployment .yaml file, how to create the services, what type of services are there, and then what is the PV, what is PVC, what is storage classes, and then liveness probe, readiness probe, and then resource requests, resource limits, and then resource quota, namespaces. These things you need to complete in Kubernetes. And then there are some other basic, the Kubernetes architecture, the master node, worker node, and then clusters, multi-cluster thing, how to connect the cluster, how pods will communicate to each other. So all these things you should do the hands-on thing as much as possible. And once you complete the Kubernetes, you can go towards the Terraform to learn how to write the Terraform scripts. In Terraform, in interview, they only ask you to write a basic Terraform script. They will ask you to write a Terraform script to create an VM. So that is just 8 or 10 lines of code you can remember after understanding it. And same goes with Kubernetes also. In Kubernetes also, interviewer will only ask you to write any basic YAML file you remember, maybe deployment.yaml. That is also 10 to 12 lines. You can remember it after once you understand the deployment.yaml. And same goes with the Docker also. Docker file is also 5 to 6 lines of code. They will ask you to write any basic Docker file you remember. So you can remember that after understanding the Docker file. In Docker also volumes, type of volumes, then bind mount, how type of networks, how to create the container, how to remove the container, and what is the flow, how to add the port, how to open the port, this type of things. and Docker, Kubernetes, Terraform is covered. Now you can go towards the Jenkins, and Jenkins is just a socket where we combine all the tools and try to automate our things as much as possible. So you can learn the Jenkins. In Jenkins you can learn how to create the pipeline, you can learn how to write the script, the Jenkins file. So that is also in interview they will not give you any specific scenario to write the Jenkins file. You just need to remember in the default Jenkins file, in your project you are implementing, or from ChatGPT you can get the basic Jenkins file. You should remember, and you should also know the stages of Jenkins, which are the stages in your project you are working on, or you can get that from ChatGPT or any other project. You need to know the stages in the Jenkins file, because interviewer will ask you to tell us the stages of the Jenkins file you had. So after the Jenkins, so now you can go towards the monitoring like Prometheus, Grafana. But they can ask you how you will write the alerts, where you will write the alerts, how you will create the alerts, and you should also know the auto scaling, how auto scaling happens, what is horizontal auto scaling, vertical auto scaling. And regarding monitoring, you can tell them that I am using the monitoring services provided by the cloud. So these things you can do, and they will also ask you how you implemented the monitoring, how you downloaded the Prometheus, how you connected the Grafana. So you need to get a better idea, like you need to do it hands-on, or if you are not doing the hands-on, you should understand it properly in depth. So it will be better for you to answer into in the interview question. So that's it from my side. Thanks.